They hid my husband's will from me, until I crashed the reading. The moment I walked into that lawyer's office, every head turned like I'd just walked into a funeral uninvited, which, in a way, my husband had been gone for 6 months, and apparently, his beloved family forgot to mention there was a will reading today, so I found out the hard way, through a whispered phone call from a friend who overheard his sister bragging about it over brunch. I wasn't supposed to be there according to them. I was just the widow who didn't belong, but after 10 years of marriage, you don't just let go, especially not when your late husband, Mercer, had built everything we owned together, from the company to the house they were so eager to get their hands on. When I pushed open the heavy oak door, silence filled the room. His mother, always draped in black pearls, looked at me like I'd shown up to steal something. His brother, Mark, muttered, "You weren't invited." I smiled sweetly and said, "That's funny, neither was grief, but it showed up anyway." The lawyer cleared his throat, clearly uncomfortable. "Since Mrs. Bennett is here now, we might as well proceed." I sat down, keeping my hand steady even though my heart was hammering. Something felt off. The whole thing had been too quiet, too secretive. Mercer wasn't the type to exclude me from anything, especially something like this. He began reading the formalities, the legal jargon that makes your head spin. Then he reached the part about the estate. "To my family, I leave." He paused, glancing at me quickly. That flicker in his eyes told me everything. There was something they didn't want me to hear. Apparently, Mercer had left a note, sealed separately from the main document. The lawyer hesitated, but I spoke up. "Read it," I said firmly. His mother objected. "That's private." I looked right at her. "Not from his wife, it isn't." The lawyer sighed, broke the seal, and unfolded the handwritten page. His voice trembled slightly as he began to read. "If my wife, Julia, is not present at this reading, stop immediately. My instructions are not to proceed until she is." The silence that followed could have swallowed the room whole. I stared at them, all their fake sympathy, all their greed, and for the first time since Mercer's death, I felt him right there beside me. The lawyer continued, his tone growing firmer. "To my wife, Julia, I leave full ownership of Bennett Enterprises, the home we shared, and the remaining assets under my name. To my family, I leave my love and the hope that they find purpose beyond money." Mark slammed his fist on the table. He was manipulated. He shouted. He wasn't in his right mind. I turned to him, voice calm but cold. "Mercer was more in his right mind than you'll ever be." His mother started crying. Though I couldn't tell if it was grief or pure frustration, I stood up slowly, every eye still on me. "You all hid this from me, hoping I'd just disappear, but Mercer knew me better than that. He always said I was the stubborn one." As I walked out, I could almost hear him laughing, that low, quiet laugh that used to melt my anger outside. The wind felt different, lighter, like justice had just exhaled. Later that night, I sat in our old study, the envelope with his handwriting resting on my lap. There was a smaller note inside, one they hadn't seen. It read, "If you're reading this, Julia, you finally found out what they tried to keep from you. I trust you'll know what to do with what's yours. Love, always, D." I smiled through tears. They thought they could erase me from his story. Instead, I became the ending they never saw coming. So here's my question to you. If you found out someone tried to erase you from your loved one's final wish, would you walk away quietly, or would you crash the reading too? Tell me in the comments below.